following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com. WLCN and WLCNonline.com present Inside Run with Joe Ryan, as Joe talks with head football coaches from around the Central State 8 Conference. And now, it's time for this edition of Inside Run. Here's Joe Ryan.
Hi, and welcome to another edition of Inside Run, where we're breaking down the Central State 8. The coaches, we're taking a look at each team, seeing how they're going to be this year. I'm Joe Ryan, your host, and I have the pleasure now of sitting with Derek Leonard, head coach of the Rochester Rockets. Thanks for joining us, Derek.
Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, you know, I've been a long-time fan, you know that, from the days when you played. I mean, I remember you coming over to Lincoln and playing quarterback, if you can believe that.
That was a long time ago.
That's how old I am.
There's a lot of way to go for me, too.
I still tell people to this day that I believe you guys, everyone's doing the spread or the no huddle now. And I'm telling you, you guys brought it to me. One quarter you went all no huddle. And I remember we were just, timeout, hang on. Are they going to huddle? Timeout. You know what I mean? It was just, it was kind of a big deal when you brought it there.
It was, when we first started, it was, and people don't know, when we were a wristband team when we were in the Corn Belt. And I hated making those wristbands. That's number one. But we had Will Lunn as our quarterback, who ended up playing at Western. We were throwing around 5 wide all the time. Well, we were terrible in the red zone, terrible. And so I said, you know what? When we get in the red zone, this was the second year, 2006. I said, we're gonna run 5 plays. Literally 3 run plays. It was all out of open, so 3 receivers, I backfield, and we're gonna run power, GT. What we run sweep, and then we run a boot, and you can run a fade or hitch. So I said, and you know what, Will? I said, you just call it. I said, it could be any of those 5 plays, And Dan, I'll never forget, we were at Pontiac. Mick Peterson was coaching then, but I can't remember the D coordinator's name. Great. He ended up being the head coach, and we got in the red zone, and it was boom, 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 boom. And I thought, wow, that worked pretty good. And you could tell he was trying to signal they couldn't get the plays in, and we actually ran it. The next drive, or a few drives later, get in the red zone again. Boom, boom, boom. I thought, man, there's something to this, And so I decided in that off season we were better in the red zone. I said, you know what? We're just going to name our plays, code word, and forget the wristband, forget the labeling the holes and all that, and it's crazy. It's taken off from there. And so that next season we were about half wristbands, half no huddle, and then the next year we were full no huddle. And that was probably in 2008 or 9 that year.
Your first year in the Central State 8
was 2010.
We got you opening day.
Yes, yeah.
And I was defensive coordinator, and a little bit in over my head when I'm going to play.
And you didn't know we were going to do that, probably.
Oh,
no. We had Corn Belt and. Yeah.
And we walked in at halftime, Shane and I remember looking at him and going, my gosh, what have we gotten into?
And that was probably my best team ever. No one knew. I mean, we talk about it now. That 2010 team was, and then to do that and to catch anybody off guard. Because that was when no one was doing it. But that was kind of the origin of it, how we started it. And so that's pretty neat.
Well, I'm going to bring this up too. I remember I came over to watch you. I believe you played DuCoin in a home playoff game several years ago. Long time.
Yes, that was a while back.
And as I was walking in the gate, your dad was walking in, and he said, who are you here with? And I said, nobody. I came over by myself. And he goes, well, come on, we'll go to the sidelines. And I'd always watch you from over there. And now I came onto your sidelines, and I walked around and watched it. And I have to say, not even because you're sitting here, very, very impressive. It was very impressive.
I appreciate that.
I want to back up a second and throw things out there like 8 state championships. 8! When you came here, did you ever think that was going to happen?
No.
My land.
I'd be lying to you if I did. It's and that 2010 group, and really the group before that, I tell you.
That was a second place team, right?
We lost to Metamore in the semifinals on the last
yeah.
play, and that was the Sean Robinson group. And really, I need to give credit to that Will Lunt, some of those kids. Will Lunt was my first quarterback. He made it fun again. He threw. I think he was the lead passer in the state all time till about 10 years ago, and I think he's top 5 still. And he made it fun. Sean Robinson's group was the great group, and they kind of had to go through those stages and steps, and we fell short. It was one of the best teams I had. In 2010, it was just a perfect storm. God put me to go into Central State 8 with the best team I ever had, and just to hit it at the right time. And then the cupboard was never bare after that. And once we started going, they didn't want to stop, and so it was one of those things.
Then it all rolls.
It rolls.
Winning breeds winning.
It does.
And all those younger kids get 6 more weeks of practice.
Yeah, and they saw great. Those were great times, and getting to Central State was so much fun, because that was when it was. Man, it'd be It was probably a little different than Lincoln than now, but it was, we didn't. I think people thought 4 and 5, 5 and 4.
Absolutely.
And I don't blame people, because we hadn't done anything to. Now they knew we had a good group coming back, but still, you just didn't know how the Corn Belt compared to this, and so people just didn't know. Now I knew, and I think my dad knew because he saw us. We had a really good team, and obviously we went undefeated that year. But yeah, it was right place, right time.
I think 8 state championships and only 5 conference championships tells you how tough the conference is.
Exactly right. That's right.
And
not many. I think maybe 3 of those were undefeated. I can't remember, but yeah, no, it shows you, man. It is hard to go 9-0 in those games.
Yeah, well, just for the people that don't know you, we're going to back up just a second. You're an SHG grad.
Mm-hmm.
You headed over to the coaches' college, didn't you?
Yeah, that's right.
The only college, all they do is just produce coaches.
That's right.
You headed over there, had a nice career.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And then you jumped out and started coaching. What year did you come here? Because this program is
I came here in 2005, but I started in 2003 at Prairie Central.
Yeah, Prairie Central.
Brian Hassett hired me, and I owe him a lot, because we went to the state championship that year. And again, God put me in the right place, because we had a kid named Dylan Ward. I don't know, man. He didn't want to celebrate, man. He threw it everywhere, and he was so good. And Brian was open. We empty, threw it every down. And so Rochester people got to see me then, because I kind of helped with the offense, called it. So then that was where I got experience, and obviously I knew Dave through Dad and Jacobs.
Yes.
But that kind of, if I didn't have that job, I probably wouldn't have got the Rochester job. But they knew I was familiar with the conference. They saw what we did. We had beaten Rochester twice, so that probably helped. And so, man, that was the connection. And then obviously being Springfield, I'm not stupid. The last name was Leonard. That's probably why I got the job. And but and so, man, again, just right place, right time.
Well, and you're right. And I kept thinking, there's just going to come a point in time where he says, I'm going back over to SHG. I'm going to go over to SHG. But then you started state championships, and it's like, well, I guess you're going to stick around.
Yeah, if you'd asked me that a long time ago, yeah, it was. And now, people ask me when Dad left, and number one, I love it here, and I wouldn't leave. And number two, it's retirement's tough. I'm in 18 years in now, so to leave that state retirement was tough. And John deserves it, Coach.
He's a good dude.
Great dude. Obviously, Lincoln guy, right?
Yeah.
Now you talk about ironic. Illinois College. I remember
No,
we had
yeah.
Mouth Griffin all the time. They hated Griffin. They recruit, they do all this, and now he's the head coach at Griffin. Him and who was Brad Schneider.
Oh
yeah. We'd be in there playing Mario Kart in the dorm room, and they'd be bad mouthing us, And now he's the head coach at Griffin. I mean, it's funny when you look back, and he's a great dude, great guy, man. And Brad was a great guy.
Oh yeah, Brad's a good dude too. There are a lot of things that go on, and as you go through it, and you look back on things, And the football community is small. I mean,
it is.
Everybody kind of knows each other and knows what you're getting done.
Mm-hmm.
But you. 8 state championships, I feel, is just that's just unbelievable. And from what I was watching out there today for about 30, 40 minutes was, guy could roll into another one.
I hope. We got a decent group coming back, and we've been lucky, man. Just like I said, we just right kids, and they've just bought in,
So become game day. What's your role? I know what it is. Tell our listeners.
Yeah, that's it, man. What I love to do, I'm the offensive coordinator. I call the plays, and that's what I love to do.
With or without a headset, right?
Without a head. Probably about when Lincoln left first time, I never wore a headset. So I would
That's what I saw when you played DuQuoin.
Yeah.
No headset.
No headset. Yell it because everything's code word, so that helped. You know, I didn't have to signal. I didn't have to tell a guy who was signaling. Neither here nor there. Eventually, I got tired of yelling. So now I do wear a headset, and it goes to the guy right next to me. And Coach Corley, who's going to be a great head coach if he ever wants to be, he yells it for me now. So he's a little bit younger, and so I do wear a headset now. But I call the plays, and man, that's you know what. And I obviously head coach part, but I don't mess with the defense. Coach Beaker
got pretty good defensive
I've had some
guys.
great defensive guys, and in my past, Coach Beaker's been with me at I think 7 out of the 8. He came in 2011, the year after we got in Central State, because he was the head coach at Lanford that first. And before that was Coach Warren, who now is back, who was my D coordinator at Griffin. Him and Coach Brenheisen and Coach McMahon. And he was with me he was the D coordinator in 2010. He had left for a little while, came back. And I have Charlie Brown. I don't remember Charlie.
Sure.
He's now the principal at, I think, Mowequa, Central A&M. And he was my first one. So I've been lucky. I let those guys go. And it's hard. You know, my dad taught me, these guys that do everything, it kills you in the end. You get worn out, you get tired. You know what I mean? You got to let those guys coach. And so I love offense. I love calling it. And so that's really what I do.
You got to pop in here with me while the team went to some defense, right?
Yeah, exactly, man. And I needed a break. I told you I needed a break because they could do defense. I was gonna come here and talk to you.
You got a great staff, I know that. Well, we're doing this because we've been out of the Central State 8 for a while. So I'm asking all the coaches kind of the same questions. So the next one is, how has Rochester been the past 5 or 6 years? And how are your lower levels? And I already know the answer, but wow.
No, yeah,
wow.
Good. We obviously, the last 5 years we had the Hank Beatty kid. We had a really good group in 2019. He was something else, and great kid. That 2019 was they were probably second or third behind that 2010 team, and it was close. Just talented. The kid now, the starting quarterback at Western was our Clay Bruno, the guy. Our parents on Steak and Shake, good people. Hank was a sophomore in that team, but a lot of good linemen, and actually Chatham beat us that year because I think that was the best Chatham team ever. COVID hit, man. Hank, we lost to Griffin in the semis. It beat them in the regular season, and obviously they beat us last year, and so. Being good underclass has been, numbers they went down a little bit, the whole COVID thing and all that.
Sure.
But it's back. We're back up to about maybe not quite where we used to be, but close. It's good numbers, and so.
Varsity and lower levels.
Everything, yeah, everything. We're like I said, we're probably a little down from let's say 2010, but still the numbers are probably better than most places. I'll be honest, and. So yeah, last year was we had we were a different team last year. That was the one thing is if anyone saw us, we were a power, a lot of two tight ends.
You have a big boy at quarterback.
He looked like me right now. He's one of my favorite players of all time. And a kid named Keaton Reese. Yeah. He was probably could have been he got offered by a few places, Iowa, Wyoming, a lot of places wanted him to come and be a fullback. A true places that use a true fullback because that's what he was, athletic.
But he could throw the ball.
Oh, he had a rocket. He could run. That's why I told him you hate to say it, he's an NFL fullback. And because no one uses a fullback anymore, he would have been the perfect. He catches out of the backfield, tough, runs well.
Obviously smart.
Smart as a whip. He was that, but no one takes a fullback anymore. You know what I mean? They take tight ends and H-backs.
So too short for that tight end.
And so you had to find a place that used them. And even those places don't really scholarship fullbacks anymore. You know what I mean? They take linebackers that fail, they take tight ends that fail, and then they'll move them to fullback. So, and he didn't. I think he was done, and so we were just most people see us throwing it around, no huddle. We still went no huddle, but it was a power,
a fun team to watch.
It was a fun team. It was a fun team. Like the Griffin game in the playoffs, we ran the ball. This has never happened. It about made me nauseous. I think the first 18 plays were all running plays. We didn't throw the ball until I think play 19. So, definitely nothing I'd ever done. Now they caused a lot of that. That was where we had any advantage. Maybe was running the ball against them, and so we didn't throw it till play 19.
Well, I went to the game. I went to the season game.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I stood over on your dad's sidelines and watched the game. And what a game
it was!
But that you can't take your eyes off of him. He was like, wow, there's another 6 yards.
No, he is. It's
4
amazing.
yards. It's just he's falling forward all the time. It's like.
It was like the Lorenzo guy I remember from Kentucky. Everyone, I mean, he was such a. So you're not used to seeing a kid that size throw, run, like
Could do it all,
and he really could. I told people he was smart. He ran well. He was tough. Had a great arm. He almost was he was a 5-tool kid, quarterback. Now he wasn't great at everything, but man, he was really good at a lot of things. Great kid too.
So how many returning starters you have back this year?
Yeah, on offense, I think we are at 5, and I think defense is 6. So it's a decent.
nucleus.
It is a good nucleus. A lot of our, some of the skilled guys are back. We lose a few of those linemen. We had 3 really good linemen that were all seniors last year. 2 are back, so we got to replace 3. Quarterback, obviously, we got to replace. And a few of our, I think 2 out of 3 receivers are back. And so running back was a little bit by committee last year, so our running back is back. So good number. Defensively, we probably feel a little bit better about just as coming back to 6, because even 1 or 2 played a lot at DN, even though they didn't start. And this group, our D coordinator, Steve, and then our O-line coach, Coach Nelson, their sons are both
So
seniors.
they both have kids playing.
So they've had these kids since they were, 5th, 4th grade, JFL, and so it's amazing how smart they are in defense.
It's going to be a big year for those guys.
It is, and then they're just, it's fun for Coach Beaker because he's, at this time out there, 2 weeks before the first game, he's probably on page 70 of the, 7, 8 of the playbook. Now he's on page 30. You know what I mean? And so he has so much more fun because those kids know. They already know it. They know the system. His son's the safety. Coach Nelson's son plays linebacker, and so it's work. I would say defensively is ahead of the game mentally.
So that's what you're going to hang your hat on this year, you think? Maybe defense?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, quit. I watched you run up and down the field there about 5 times, and every kid can catch the ball.
Yeah, you know what? It is a good athletic. We do have, that's the difference in last year. Last year, I thought athletically, for us, we were down. And this year, I think we're back up to where we normally were. So
You look pretty athletic out there.
yeah, thank you.
So let's talk about the season then. You got a conference fave. You going to put yourself in there? You're going to kind of...
Yeah,
I hate to do that.
I know.
Pick
We
another
probably
team.
have a return. We probably, people are going to pick us, and that's fine. And I get it. We are returning. So, there's no backing down on that. Griffin's going to be a lot better than people think. They just had a bunch of seniors, but those other kids are ready. You know how Griffin is. Griffin's going to be up there. I think Springfield High's got a lot returning. Mm-hmm. I think just from a return.
Another IC guy.
Another IC guy. Coach Hep does a great job. And I think MacArthur's got a lot returning. They got a lot of skills. Up front, they were good. I think those teams are the teams that, and not Griffin so much, obviously, they lost a lot of people. Chatham will be in between. I think on defense, they lost a lot of offense. They return a lot. They're playing a young quarterback, I know. And so, I think us, Springfield High, MacArthur, and Jacksonville will return a lot, I should say. And I think Jacksonville up front will return a lot. They're going to be big, strong. They lose that quarterback who was a stud.
Big up front, though, aren't they?
Man, big. Huge. Their interior 3. And they were tough out last year, sophomores. And so that could be a surprise team a little bit. And I think Brody at U-High is doing a great job. I think they're going to be better. So I think, those are the teams. The other ones, I think, like Griffin. I think Chatham just lost a little bit to graduation. And so it's going to be an interesting, I think we all come back to the middle. So it'll be interesting.
As I say, CSA, another fun
It's Central
year.
State A. It is. They're all going to be good.
I'm biased. I'm sure you are too. And I think it's, one of the best conferences in the state. It's, year in, year out.
You look
Here we go.
and you just look at the success, and that's not if I took myself out of this place. You just look how many championships, look how many championship games, look at so many big games against the people that everybody's played from Chatham. Obviously, Griffin's played. The Montinis, the Joliet Catholics, and beating a lot of them, and then obviously us and our success, and then you get Springfield, Decatur, MacArthur's had. Spades has done a great job. You truly, and Grounds, he's been to the semis, and he's met him more. He's had some great. So, man, what I tell people, it is so hard to get to 5 and 4. You feel, man, there's some good coaches and great teams that every year you're like, man, they're good. And then you look week 9 and they're fighting for their lives. And it's because they played 3 great teams and they're on that 4th or 5th game. And, man, if it just doesn't go your way or things, man, you have injuries, ineligibilities, you fall into any of those things, man. It's so hard in this conference, if you make the playoffs, you're a pretty dang good team.
You're a good team.
That is.
And you got a tough opener.
Man, unbelievable. Yeah, it's a fun one. You know what? It's the first time since 2000. We did have one non-conference in 2010 because there was only 8 of us.
That's right.
Right, and so we have experienced that, but it's been a long time, and so Peoria obviously being in the 5A state championship game last year.
Just gonna say, is this gonna be a good measuring tool of?
It'll be huge.
What you think of?
It'll be huge.
I don't know if they grant.
And I'd be stunned. I know the linebacker's back. I think he's been offered by Indiana, Illinois. He's big time. The quarterback was back. He threw for a lot of yards. Up front, they're huge. I mean, huge. They did lose their running back, and their running back was I think he was like 2,500 yards. Yeah, he was unbelievable. And I heard they got a few transfers from Richwoods, and so it's going to be a heck of a test. You know, it's going to be, we're going to find out who we are and what we are real quick, and especially at their place. They put in turf at the Peoria Stadium, so
they redid
it.
Stadium.
It's going to be the first game, and so I've got a lot of, I think they're going to have it on TV there, and they're going to have a big special and ribbon cutting thing, and so it's going to be
like
at Peoria too. Man, that's awesome, right? I think it's the same thing, and so it'll be a fun game.
Yeah, that will be a fun game. I tell you that. Yeah, I love the old stadium. You know, over here, just
love it.
Memorial.
So many memories.
Yeah, just
that was my home. That was Griffin's home. That's where every game. That's where I was at. Yeah. And people don't remember. There used to be Friday night, Saturday afternoon, Saturday night.
Yeah, that's why
I would be there the whole time.
I'd go to 3 games and watch. You know,
and you go Saturday afternoon, you go get something to eat. You go to Rich, and then come back Saturday night. It was just, that's what we were used to. They needed that. They needed a new place. Southeast needs something now. You know what I mean? They got to take care of them. But Springfield and Langford good. Griffin's good now. You know what I mean? So it's going in the right direction. But I do miss Memorial. It was fun.
Yeah, that was fun stuff. Coach, I want to thank you for just sitting down with me for a little bit during practice because I know you got a lot going on.
You gave me a break, buddy. I'm glad you came to this.
And I'll tell you what, I don't know. I don't think I ever badmouthed SHE. SHE was I learned a lot from watching you guys. I can still remember standing around and watching when didn't you used to have pads? We used to have the special teams. They go down and stand.
I remember
circles
that.
or something. They stand on.
Stand there. That's how they count it.
Yeah, that's organized. And then you take the field, and you're not going, hey, who's not out there? You know.
Well, I learned so many people don't like Coach Warren's playing for me. Coach McMahon, Coach Swinski was the greatest O-line coach, and I played for him. He was also my quarterback coach. I mean, he was outside of my father, he's the second greatest coach I've ever been around. And
a lot of influences.
I was so lucky and so blessed to.
Like sitting around talking to Hank Williams Jr.
I don't know about that, but yeah, it was crazy because I did have a lot of great influences as coaching and as people. So.
Well, I want to thank you for being on. Again, we're joined by Hall of Famer Derek Leonard. Because 8 state championships, I don't think they're going to turn you away the door.
You never know.
You never know. But thanks for being here today. Good luck this year. You'll be in 4A, you think?
I think we'll be pretty clear in 4A. We actually, our enrollment went down, and I go off that Susie guy, and he wrote some, and he said, "Man, we're pretty in the middle almost." Which is rare. And I think some of that's 8-man football, so the numbers going up from the bottom, and we're going down, and the Catholic schools are going back up, that like Griffin's going up automatically. So a lot of those teams, so I bet we fell about 10 or 12 spots from slots, I think Lincoln, I think you guys are above us even, because you're in the 800s, right?
Yeah.
Barely. I think we're in the 730, 740. Which is people don't know. People think, oh, your enrollment, man, our enrollment went down after this last cycle by almost 30 kids.
We got to keep the football kids coming in.
Man, that's what we don't have any houses. I wish we did.
Well, thanks again for joining us, Coach, and we'll be rooting for you in those playoffs.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
The preceding program is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com.